Hello and welcome to the second SLTA sustainability training. We will now enter into module 2 and look at what sustainable experience development is and how we can all do it. My name is Brita Staal and I am working with sustainable development across the world, and I've had the honor of working with a lot of the Sri Lankan industry, and I'm happy to bring some examples to you during this training on that. We will now look at what a sustainable and authentic travel experience is. We will look at how you can create such an experience in your locality. We will look at how you can cater to international visitors' expectations and really meet their needs in what they're looking for and what is perceived as authentic. I'll dive into some examples and cases on sustainable activities or experiences, and then we'll have a call to action on what you all can do on this topic. So first, what is a sustainable tourism experience? Of course, it is something that makes our visitors feel like they are seeing something true and trustworthy, but also something that is really local and really engaging with local participants, business owners, the local life, maybe even the kids and the elders of the place that they are visiting. And the sustainable tourism experience is really activities or experiences that really contribute to or enhance the work in coordinates with the SDGs that we looked at in module 1. Again, if we do a recap from the last session, we know that we are underperforming on the SDGs, and we all have to help each other to move to really engage and work on increasing our efforts towards reaching the Sustainable Development Goals. This in front of you now is the status for Sri Lanka. And even though we know that we have a lot of businesses in our network working towards these goals, we also know that we have red light and major challenges on several of these goals. I want to bring to your attention some examples that really are working with this and that really are challenging our way of running traditional tourism and really moving on to a sustainable way of driving this. In this slide, you see some imagery from both the kitesurfing Lanka. It's a kitesurfing school and also a hotel guest house. They have sustainable eco huts and tents. And also a poster from Wild Adventure in Melbourne. Really both actors that are in very separate ways trying to create a sustainability offer for their guests and are really succeeding in both their very separate markets on creating a offer that really includes the local communities while also meeting the needs of their guests in a sustainable manner, both when it comes to traveling to and from their resorts, but also come with the offer of adventure that they have, activities and visits in the close nature, while also having a way of running their hotels and guest houses in a low impact way. We'll dive into more case examples later, but first let's have a look at the theory. How can we cater to international visitor expectations in the future, and what are these expectations? Our guests are increasingly looking for experiences that are supported by solid evidence of sustainability efforts, like environmental, social, or equitable actions that you can prove with evidence. They're looking for a holistic experience, which is not just zero waste or just low energy transport, but also including other elements like green indoor and outdoor environments, low carbon and clean foods, foods that are low in the food chain, vegetarian and vegan offers, of course, also encompassing the things that you offer in your resort or your activities that really rely on sustainable supply chains. And last, they want to see and experience actions and activities that are developed and co-created with your communities. So they want to either take part in something that finds place with your communities, or they want to be a part of building something, so that they're not only guests, but also, I think the topic of greenwashing has really become something that everybody now understands, and it's even becoming a legal requirement in the EU to not come with greenwashing claims. So we now, when we say that we have a sustainable offer, we also have to be able to prove that with clear verifications. So we have to be honest and accountable. All unsupported claims of green activities or green offers will backfire, and consumers will be more and more prone to want to check up on these claims. So we have to do the real work, either by having proper activities, or doing something that we can really verify. Offsetting or funding beach cleanups is not solving anything in our own supply chain. So we have to work with our own footprint and our own verifications first. We have to use our strengths in our activities. So let your company or personnel shine through in your sustainability offers, and really let them be a great part of the activities that you provide to your guests. Authenticity is really crucial in building these experiences for our guests, and everybody will want to see the real you. So finding your voice is really important in this work. The pitfalls that we have with greenwashing is, of course, first of all, not having a proof in the sustainability claim that we have. Secondly, it's having a bit of a vague use of labels, or just green letters is not really making your offer more green. Often we also see irrelevance, that doing something socially on the side of your business that does really not make your business better. And the fourth pitfall is really just lying or marketing facts that aren't true. The hidden trade-offs, like advertising small set of attributes and not the whole picture, is also a real shortcoming of many businesses' sustainability communication. And then really worshiping false labels, or creating new certifications, or just I've seen a range of green leaves or green stamps on activities or hotels that aren't part of a established certification scheme, which is really dangerous for the industry as a whole. And then comparing products to be greener when they are all non-eco-friendly is really not a good way to do it. It really just becomes a lesser of two evils. So if you offer a tour in a national park and you have the only car with the noise canceling to not disturb the animals, but you're part of an touring activity where all the other cars, of course, disturb the animals, then really it is not making things any better. So here it's all about working with your industry to create a good, instead of just being a part of all the evils. How to create these offerings for your guests? Well, I always want to start with, of course, understanding your guests and talking to them and hearing what they think and what they want from their visits. But if you're already done that part, then of course leaning on the SLTA sustainable tourism principles is really a good way to go. Now we have these principles across these three pillars of environment and climate, social and cultural, economical and ethical, that we can really use in the development of good tourism experiences across the industry. So let us see how this can be and how we can move from guiding principles to real action. First of all, with climate action, you have the opportunity to offer guests to take action to combat climate change and its impact through minimizing footprints through offsets or these climate insets, where really you can invite guests to take part in tree planting activities or lectures on local mitigation projects. On preservation of diversity, we see a lot of cool examples where guests are invited to understand how you work to protect and restore nature and biodiversity, where you also include them in how you locally and maybe also how the indigenous people in your community has helped to conserve habitats and life on land and below water through really their traditional actions, but you can also show how promoting sustainable tourism through eco tours, forest tours, and animal and climate protection initiatives really is a part of your offer. We've seen many hotels change now, really join the battle against waste. So of course, ensuring a sustainable consumption and the use of products at your premises is really a number one to really show tourists how you take action and what you do. And by adopting a zero waste and zero plastic policies, you are really making sure that it's truthfulness in what you say on really this principle. Last, on renewable energy, you have the ability to improve the energy and efficiency and access clean renewable energy at your premises. Of course, this is a bigger investment, but make a plan on how to ensure renewable energy in the future and collaborate with your community for a rapid scaling of renewables. This is something that you can do together with your community and make sure that at least in the future, there might be more renewable energy available at your premises. Now we'll visit some case examples. Here you see an example of climate tourism and teachings around climate change. And this example is from Norway and Nepal. And just as a background, one important strategy for regional economic development in Norway has been, visits on the glaciers and really inviting tourists to see our more alpine landscapes. At the same time, climate change is altering the conditions of which tourism is based. Ski tourism is already being affected by a lack of snow in multiple destinations across the globe, also in Norway. And tourism and nature-based tourism is dependent on ecosystem and climate services such as snow, aesthetic landscapes and wildlife, as well as being dependent on well-functioning physical infrastructure that really takes us to these places. We don't see that tourism is concerned about communicating this. So one project that we want to highlight is this project that Atmosphere is doing together with Forum Andersen Reiser, which is really trying to enable sustainable adaptation to climate change of the nature-based tourism in Norway. So they want to